Hi, welcome to Jade Kind Gaming. I'm Adam. Today we're going to be doing fantasy world building, and today we will be raising a barn. Simple enough. Have a good old-fashioned barn raising. Today, what I have here is to detail a barn, area for horses and a hayloft, perhaps as a cool combat location. So, barn seems like a building. Let's use the square grid. And I may not use all of this, the full length of this. Probably not. And that guy always seemed to do, regardless of whatever. I'm gonna start with the pencil, but that's largely to get the size that I'm gonna want. So we're gonna assume each box is a 5-foot square. Just feels right to generally have it be what? You know, I have no idea how big a barn probably would be, but I'm not thinking huge. It's probably something like that. Yeah. And then maybe a top floor, which will go in a little bit. So. Would that be going in 10 feet on each side? Right? Yeah. And only in one direction isn't actually going to be going in. But yeah, with the general scale, I'll go to my Sharpie where y'all can see it. I guess I want to have this is the ground floor. And the idea behind this is I know I have another card in there somewhere that is something like creating a farm. Something along that lines. And so the idea is that this barn will go into that farm. Okay, I think that's pretty good just for an idea of the base floor. You know, you got right here in the middle your big entrance. It's 10 foot across, and then you have a couple doors at other areas. Because as I put on here, at a cool combat location. So I want to have a few different entrances. Then of course this top level. We'll have a door directly over top of this door. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So that's there. That there, which would put our stairs sort of there. And I'm just going to color in that square and that square are the same one. So that's sort of how the transition going up works. I'm going to grab brown, because on this top floor I want to have something like this. I don't know if a barn would really waste storage space. But the idea being that there's just a railing there, and that this area here is open the floor below. Okay. Okay, so we got doors on all those, which obviously, whatever. You know what I mean. Doors. Okay, so you have storage up here. We need a spot to put our horses. Where do we want to store horses? I want to store horses over here. Let's give them a little bit of space each. Have full walls up. And spots for 4 horses. And then like the entrance into it is something that can be jumped or, let's say, hidden behind. So I'm going to use this brown. So these are horse stalls, which of course if you put horses in during combat, they can sort of be let loose, go wild, fun stuff like that. A hayloft was up here, so we have detail barn, area for horses, and a hayloft. Cool combat location. Alright. What else to do? We have stairs here. I don't really know what would be in a barn. Good job, Adam, making it. But you know what? Hayloft. That's something cool. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of orange. Alright, so up top we have some piles of hay, but quite specifically, this area is open, right in here. So, if we have a cool, like this area right in the back, is, a hay pile, then someone could jump essentially from up here to down here, and you can say, they have a soft landing and that kind of thing. So there's a cool utilizing the 2 ground system. We can do probably also. I want to just for completeness. In each one of these horse stalls. There's a little bit of hay there too, which really, you know, there'd be whatever mucking on the ground for whatever, because it's horse stalls, but there's, let's say, a pile in there at the back. Well, you know what? We can have right here in the middle, ready to sort of be taken out. A cart. So that's like a cart that would be pulled by horses. You know, that maybe got stored in the barn. See, what other kind of things would be? We would have a tool rack stored in the barn. So let's put that along this wall right here. So that's going to have, you know, the pitchforks, the shovels, these little bits of silver to show things hanging on here. And I'll label it. Alright. I'm going to add better stairs there. Tools, hay, cart, horses. What else can we keep in a barn? You know what? We'd have to have some storage, and let's say they're storing barrels of food, or maybe they're got, you know, gunpowder, or stolen goods, or water. You know, anything could be fun. And they're just going to have a bunch of barrels over here, stacked on top of each other. Can be knocked over, or whatever may happen, hidden in. And so really what I need right now, you know, because we can keep, this area seems to be an easy path to keep open. But right here, what do I put right here? Thinking on that. There's one thing we gotta have. Although that's probably gonna go back here, sort of hidden behind these stairs. And that's a distillery. They're making their own shine. I have no idea why I used a little bit of purple, but whatever. I just kind of wanted to make it stand out. So yeah, we got whatever. Stack of barrels and moonshine. Sort of hidden between this big pile of hay and these barrels, and yeah. behind the stairs, that kind of area. And that's what we can put here. You know, similar to over there, but these containers. And let's say, you know, they actually do some sort of, you know, farming in this farm for some sort of plants. And they have maybe grain or corn or some sort of seeds or some, you know, essentially, you know, you had the hay before, but essentially an alternative to that. And this is just where it's going to be stored. These big sort of containers, you know, the kind of thing that would go in like one of those big, you know, today we have the big towers, but I'm pretty sure that takes machinery to fill those up, so they'd have to be kept somewhere where you could get it to in a medieval period. And so we're going to say they got big just sort of containers here, you know, maybe yeah. So for whatever, I'm going to say like grain storage. And also, because I spent a few minutes thinking, and of course I come up with it all at once, let's say this 10-foot period right here. Yeah, like shelves. Essentially like shelves for any sort of crop storage. So, you know, if they had carrots or potatoes, somewhere where you could put it where it's not, you know, molding against itself. For at least a short time until you take it to market, load it up on your cart, go to market. So different sorts of storage, you know, essentially. You know, you got hay in various places. You know, you got whatever you can keep in barrels. Maybe that's, you know, empty barrels for them to put grain or crops in just during the trip. You know, you got their moonshine. You can jump from here down to there or onto the cart. You know, you got horse stalls, so you can get a horse out, cart it out. You have several entrances, you know, where people can be in. Of course, they can hide in the barrels, in the big vats of grain, in the stacks of hay. So you know, for combat or you know, over in the horse stalls, all sorts of places for people to hide. So really, generally, this has been what, 20 minutes for me to come up with this, and it's obviously taking up less than half of one of these sheets. But it's just, you know, a simple barn. And I know within the stack, eventually there's one that is making a farm. And on there I say, don't build the barn, that'll be in this other one. So I guess the barn got made first, and so eventually I'll make a barn for it. Likewise, if you have any ideas that you think should be in this stack for fantasy world building, or even any sort of other just sort of world building, multiple sci-fi, because eventually I'm going to add those, suggest it in the comments. You know, I can only think of so many things to spend time thinking of. But, you know, for the barn, I made it for a combat encounter. Of course, you can have it be just as well, be sort of a home base for your players. I mean, you know, you got different stalls for the players' horses. You can, you know, have them essentially set up areas in the loft for their space, and you can make a lot of the storage that's storage for the barn into storage for their gear. They can essentially gut out a barn and make their own base. You know, I'll always encourage the ideas of, you know, a building can be used more than one way. But yeah, if you're interested, I'll have this on. If you have any ideas for other world building stuff, or if you have just ideas for what would be in a medieval, like a fantasy medieval setting barn. You know, am I missing something obvious? Because I don't know farming. Especially not medieval farming. The closest to barns that I know is Smallville, early episodes. There was a bunch that took place there. But that's very modern, so... but yeah, so hope you like that. Let me know what you think, or if you have other ideas, and have a great day.